Surrendering is actually, in my eyes, a very active process. It's a process of dismantling your hooks and your attachments to the way something must be, and further strengthening the prayer and the connection to a greater power to orchestrate what wants to happen.
Is really understanding and feeling the love Spirit already has for you.
What is your relationship to surrender? How has that been a resource for you? And what have you learned through navigating an artful dance?
Is that you fully learn to see yourself as the Creator sees you. I would say first and foremost that no matter what you do or don't do, you are loved infinitely, and that you have a reason for being here, and that you are worthy beyond doubt.
Danette, welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back.
It's like the inaugural, is that the right word? Inaugural? No, the annual.
The couple-year annual.
Couple year annual check-in.
Yes. But I've had you on mine, so it has been annual.
Yeah. I think we've just been, it's been fun to weave.
And to watch the growth and the expansion and share the dreams and watch us each step into these dreams. It's been so fun.
I know, it's been great. And I think one thing that would be really cool to start with, because we kind of started staring the pot before we hit the record button, but I think the reason why we've been able to continue accessing states of alignment, aligned abundance, if you want to call it that, in whatever way, shape, or form it is because we've gotten better at burning it all down. And so I'd love to ask you, what is your relationship to burning it all down now, and how has it evolved with each burn?
Well, I would definitely say that we have these opportunities and cycles. At least I'm seeing these patterns. So they typically say they happen every 7-9 year cycles. Sometimes some people are in 12-year cycles. And I'm starting to see these patterns because in the past, there would be these opportune times when either friendships were dismantling or business was growing or relationships dismantling or relationships budding. In the past, I would be more gripping, like, wait, I don't want to lose that friendship, or I don't want to lose that employee, or what does this mean if this says no in this business idea that I thought was going to expand in XYZ and it's a no. Like all of these things in my past, I used to get really nervous about the no or the dismantling or the change. And we were just discussing, I'm in a new big transition, not only astrologically, because like psychics and astrologers are like, Danette, this is like one of the biggest ones of your life. And I can feel it, but I'm kind of like, where are the matches? Let's burn it. Let's go. Because I know that, and this is a Napoleon Hill quote that I've held on to in some of my craziest, hardest times, was out of chaos comes equal or greater good. And so I really have seen and been witness to the chaos and then equal or greater good coming after. So now I'm like, okay, I'm in the chaos, but this is my work, to not light the match, to let Spirit light the match, because that is my work. Because I'm someone who's like, all right, we got to rip the Band-Aid off. Let's just go. Or I'm a rusher.
Well, here's an interesting question. How do you know that Spirit isn't lighting the match through you?
I believe Spirit's asking me to be patient. So that's why I say, if Spirit was like, you need to get on with this, go light the match, then it would be...
So you can feel the difference between a Spirit-led command and a Danette command.
Oh, yeah.
What's the difference?
I mean, Danette, okay, so when I feel into it, because everyone's going to be a little different when I share this, but for me, a Danette-led command usually comes with fear. There's a fear component that's driving me towards a decision. Whereas a Spirit-led command it doesn't mean I have to feel certain, or it doesn't mean I don't have my knees knocking, but it has a substance and a flavor and a frequency to it that's different. It's not urgent. There's no urgency with Spirit. For me anyway.
Yeah. Have you ever experienced an urgency with Spirit?
Yes.
And what has that felt like?
I'll give an example of what it came in case this will help someone understand. I remember, And now I know why. So back when I was going through my divorce and I had two little girls, right? And it was a really difficult divorce. And in the state of Utah, it's like nobody, if unless someone's like really destructive, you're going to have joint custody. And at the time, I would have just said my ex was a good father and I should have him see the kids, right? Like that would be very human of me and very realistic. But Spirit was like, you have to get these kids out of the state, which is near impossible. And it was such an urgency within me of like, you have to speak up. You have to listen to me. So I remember I went into meditation of helping me to navigate mediation of like, how am I going to get these kids out of this state so that I'm raising them solely? And Spirit, I remember just telling me, push it, push it, push it. And I was in mediation and Spirit dropped in, tell him, which he's not even a skier, you'll give him a ski pass if he'll let you do this. This was in mediation. So I tell his mediator, he runs back to the room and he's like, he says you can do it. You have to give him a ski pass. This is how Spirit works for me a lot. So it'll give me a command and then it will drop in something that makes no sense and then it works.
Have you always been good at trusting that?
Yeah, not always. I wouldn't say always. I think since the passing of my son, I've gotten increasingly really good at it.
Yeah. What about that experience led to you getting better at that?
Everything that led to the passing of my son, I was living a life that was very much for everyone else. Based off my upbringing, their belief systems. I married the person I thought everyone wanted me to marry, not really who I wanted to marry. I was practicing my daily practice, my religious practice, my community, everything, my friends was all built around my conditioning as a child. And so obviously I learned really quick how to turn off my intuition because it didn't fit within that realm. And then when my son, Spirit told me that something was wrong when my son was passing and I didn't go to the hospital because I got so good at turning off my intuition. So then when he passed, obviously I think Spirit sometimes gives us suffering or something hard to have us learn and wake up to these sensations within us. And so obviously that brought me into deep, deep depression. And I really believe his passing is what woke me up. And I have this like agreement with him that I'm going to listen to every nudge, every hit that comes my way. So at that time, after he passed, I dismantled everything. That was one of my first matches. My marriage, my relationship to religion, my friendships, even my family was like, oh my gosh, they even pulled away from me for a while. And I had to learn to be in the unknown with Spirit alone. And that built up tons of trust in Spirit. Yeah. So it was one of my greatest gifts.
Yeah. The humility. It's like, I'm really connecting to, like life's, the nature of life to humble us into reverence.
Mm-hmm. And to connecting with what really matters, which is that voice, which is like that knowing within us.
Yeah. What does that knowing and that quality feel like on a day-to-day basis for you right now?
It feels like home. I have to tune into it though. It's not, I believe that Spirit resides always within and around us, but I believe that it's up to us to cultivate a space where we can actually hear. And so I work on that every day to make sure I can hear the guidance, hear what it wants to say or what would be something that wants to move through me. But it's sometimes it'll come in actual physical form. I'm wondering if you ever feel this, like say like someone will say something at times, which other people might be like, I'll know if it's truth or not because I'll get goosebumps over my whole body. And if it's really deep truth, it'll go all on my cheeks. So Spirit will communicate that way, but usually it's just a knowing, or it'll give me like vision. Like sometimes I'll see something, but yeah.
I'm curious, as you walk through the world and as Spirit asks you and tells you to jump in spaces and places you haven't, What is your process for working with your fears and your ego and the parts of you that are afraid? Like, how do you navigate that deep trust that now has been anchored with the real human elements that might find it unsafe or find it to be, daunting or if the noise comes in?
Hmm.
How do you navigate those moments?
That's such a great question because I believe one of the greatest works any of us will do is to navigate fear and really to govern our lives in a space of faith and love versus fear. And a lot of us were raised with fear in the I always say they would like pour it in my water. Like, let's pour some fear because this girl's a wild one. And so if we can pour some fear in there, we can control her. I mean, that was the premise of my whole upbringing. So it's been really interesting to dance off with fear because I had a lot of fear about everything. I didn't drink alcohol. I had my first sip of alcohol at age 35, and I remember being immensely fearful of that first sip because am I going to go to hell? Like, if you're indoctrinated like that, you have to, it's kind of been a beautiful medicine for me because since I can taste fear so strongly, now I can taste the opposite of fear so strongly, which is a gift, right? So now it's a gift. So for me, just recently it's been not even recently at this point. I told Raj about this dream I had, which incorporated a part of myself that I didn't think I had, which was an artist, which was somebody who never danced, didn't have any music background. Like, why would I do this? Like, I'm the fitness nutrition person. Like, that scared me because I was like, what if I'm crazy? I remember I asked my husband all the time, I'm like, you need to stop me now. Like, if I'm crazy with this, stop me now. And he'd be like, just go for it. So I've had to look and feel fear, but one thing I do is just say, I just keep marching. I'm just going to keep marching because ultimately I can fail without trying or I can fail trying, right? I mean, those are not my quotes. I listen to a lot of people that inspire me and they'll just be like, you're going to fail if you don't try. So might as well try.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just important, I think, to like the reminder that I keep getting because I feel like similar tracks where spirit gives me the call and is like, okay, this is the direction, and I'm gonna show you all the reasons why this is gonna work, and then my mind is like, but no, it makes sense, it's on paper, like this is what you've been doing, but then I run down this path. And it's almost like spirit forces me to go a little bit further. And then something drops. And then it's like such a deep level of nourishment and fulfillment that fuels the next wave of running. And I remembered watching this. Have you seen the movie Bruce Almighty?
No.
There's this like video that was circling on Instagram a little while back, and I just loved it. It was this video of Morgan Freeman, and he plays God.
Oh yeah, okay, I know the premise now.
He plays God, and there's this woman who's sitting, and she's like really sulking, and he comes over, and he's like, "If you prayed for courage, would God give you courage, or would He give you moments where you get to practice courage?"
Ooh.
If you wanted to be close to your family, if that's what you prayed for, would God just give that to you, or would He create experiences for your family to come together? And it just really touched me. I think it's speaking to like just this piece that like those things that even we pray for, like those visions, those dreams we like ask for, the love that we're craving, like God's not going to give it to you. There's an initiation into becoming, a depth of trust, a depth of courage. Like it's like all those qualities we pray for are found in those moments where there's doubt, where there's fear. And it's when they're cultivated. And that to me is like it's so, I believe, important to remember that as you're navigating a spirit-led life, because there's plenty of reasons to stop. But then when we remember that the things we prayed for are going to be accessed in the moments we didn't realize. It shifts the construct.
Yeah. Wow, I really like that because I truly, truly believe that. It makes total sense. It's like when we are given something, we can't feel the filaments of the depth of it. So we have to have little fragments to show us.
Yeah, my curiosity right now is how, like, do I have to keep experiencing like challenge, obstacle, redirection, heartbreak in order to access that, or can I just access it on demand? And that's where I'm starting to really play. I feel like I closed a chapter.
Yeah.
Like that's what this last, I would say, year was, of like ending an era of needing to learn through pain.
Right. I think that's a worthiness thing more than it's like, oh, I have to have pain or it has to be hard for me to be worthy of it. And that's where we got it. There's so many filaments of lines with all of these discussions we have around any of these topics, always going in within ourselves and asking, like, deep down, what is this intention? What is this energy? Why do I want to do the thing I want to do? Is it ego? Is it really feeding something beyond spirit? Like really asking, because there's so many nuances to it. And that's why I think they think spirit's creating the struggle. Because I say that carefully because, like what you just said, no, spirit's probably like, oh my gosh, like, can you like believe in yourself?
Can you learn the lesson?
Yeah.
Can you learn the lesson and see how many times I have graced you? It's like, that's what it was for me. Like the second I saw, wow, God really loves me. Like, God it's like really loves me. And it like really took me getting to like the depth of like really touching the miracle of my life. No matter how hard things get, it's like I live a blessed life. I've got just so much to be grateful for, and I'm so resourced in all the ways. And it's like when I just come back to remembering that, like no matter what's happening, I feel like that to me is, I think, what, if I can even tune into what Spirit God has been wanting me to learn. It's like,
go back to that.
Just come back to seeing the miracle. It's there. It's always been there. I've always been here. Exactly. I've always loved you.
Yeah, I think that is the ultimate work, right? Isn't that the ultimate journey? Coming back to that remembrance.
Yeah, and then what do you create from that space?
Yeah.
When you are the child of a benevolent universe that just wants you to succeed, that just wants you to be seen, that just wants you to be expressed from that space of safety, what do you birth? I
love that. That's a good morning practice, to drop into that frequency, that feeling.
What does that look like? How would you drop into that as a morning practice?
Oh, just you describing that of, I would close my eyes and just remember all the ways I've already been blessed and loved in times when it almost felt impossible to come out on the other side. But we all somehow do. And just even looking around your house, I mean, we live probably in the best lives that we'll ever have, even though we have hardships. I mean, we have drinking water, we have flushing toilets, we have food on demand, we have more outfits than we need. We have so much abundance, and I think we forget, honestly.
I would even like reframe, like for me, hardship is, even the hardships I have, it's a privilege.
Yeah.
Like when I go back to like my 25-year-old self, and if I told him that these were some of the challenges that I was navigating, these were some of the deals that I was navigating, these were the conversations that I'm in, he'd be like, dude, you made it. Like, you're not in a cubicle right now.
Yeah.
You've broken free. And I think that I get to remind myself of that. And we all get to have a relationship to life that is empowering. Like, I really feel that. Like, I actually feel like I've gotten a lot more spiritual, I think, in the last 2 years. I feel like even my relationship with spirit, like, I thought I had a relationship to spirit, and then the relationship to real depth of spirit came through surrender. So what is your relationship with surrender, Ben? You know, especially like because you're such a unique combination of human, and like you've just architected such a spirit led, even entrepreneurial career, and I actually see you do this better than anyone. Just
Mm.
the art of doing and waiting,
Yeah.
doing and waiting, holding and pivoting. Like there's just a way that you're navigating it. And so how what is your relationship to surrender? How has that been a resource for you? And what have you learned through navigating an artful dance?
Well, what a brilliant question, and it's an honor to be seen in that way because I would say this is probably my greatest practice, and I really do. I'm so grateful that I have this relationship because it has made all the difference in business and my relationships, my body, my friendships, everything. Right? I mean, I really, if anyone saw my past, you would be like, don't recognize this girl today. Um, I would say first and foremost, what we just shared is really understanding and feeling the love spirit already has for you. That is going to be pivotal. I remember my mom asking me like, well, are you raising your daughters to, all these morality things she wanted me to be sharing with my kids about choices. And I was like, my number one goal for myself and my kids, and if I share with my kids, it means it's my core, is that you fully learn to see yourself as the creator sees you,
Mm.
to fully know that no matter what you do or don't do, you are loved infinitely, and that you have a reason for being here, and that you are worthy beyond doubt. And that's the number one thing I think any of us can do. And that requires prayer, that requires time alone, that requires being in the nothingness, right? And sometimes we get the opportunity to go there because we have hardships or we have things that really bring us to our knees where we can realize we are loved, right? There is another presence or an energy around us outside of ourselves, right? That helps. I know that's when I found mine, is through my hard times. And then after that, it's practice. Like you'll get something smaller where you have to surrender, and then you realize you're better off by surrendering. And surrender is an interesting word because I think people think of like not trying. And I think that's what you're seeing in me. You will definitely never not see me trying.
Mm.
I'm always holding on to a line. And so how I look at it is, let's say I want something because I want a lot of things. I'm a fire person. I'm a go-getter person. And I just imagine it's like right here, right? This thing I want. And I also see colors associated with the thing I want. And I imagine that I'm going up and grabbing it, right? But let's just say you go to grab and something throws your grip off, right? You're holding on, you're flowing, something throws your grip off. This is all analogy, which happens. And you're like, wait, this isn't going as planned. This is disruptive. This is a no. That's your hand grip coming off. And what I'll do is I'll be like, oh, it's coming off for a reason because I'm so deeply loved. That's the surrender. It's happening for a reason. But do I not ever go back and grab up again? Oh, no. I'm going to still go into my practice of seeing, going up, reaching in my mind. When I say that, it's like holding the vision, getting into action. I've got to bring my hand back up and I keep going. Sometimes I'll get knocked off again. Okay, I'm not going to get upset. What am I not seeing? Where do I need to pivot? Because it's all happening for me. So is there someone else I'm supposed to talk to? Is there something else I'm supposed to do? And then once again, reaching up again, right? So that's the surrender in my mind. It's never, oh, okay, I take my hand off forever. It's just that, oh, it needs to be off for something different. Maybe I need to grab a different rope up here or whatnot.
It's refining the signal.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm feeling. It's like
Mm-hmm.
there's a refinement of like, this is what I want.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I think I'm going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
and you run in that direction, and then there's something that emerges, new information, that then causes you to pause, come back, listen, and then maneuver and move. So you're still moving, but you're not attached.
Yeah. Because you believe that something greater than you is guiding you. And so it's easier to detach when you have that fundamental belief.
Yes, that's it.
Right?
That's it.
Because then you're like, oh, I don't know about that next turn, but something greater does. Okay, thank you.
It's like a big, it's a relief.
Yeah.
It's a relief to remember that God's got you. It's like a genuine relief. Like even just saying that, my nerves is like, oh, okay, I don't have to figure this out. Oh, okay, if it's not working out, okay, like there's a greater orchestration. It allows me to rest. It allows me to wait. It allows me to conserve energy. Like I think that like there's a false belief that surrender is, and I love that you said it, it's not waiting. Surrendering is actually, in my eyes, a very active process. It's a process of dismantling your hooks and your attachments to the way something must be, and further strengthening the prayer and the connection to a greater power to orchestrate what wants to happen.
Yeah.
Because if higher power wants something to exist, it's going to exist. And when we can align ourselves with that, that's when I think there's a magic that happens. And we need to die sometimes to, like, our attachments, our grip, the versions of us that want to be seen a certain way, that have some type of an ulterior motive that isn't purely spirit. It's almost like, and this comes back to destiny and free will. Like, it's like when I look at destiny, I'm like, okay, like, was I destined to learn these lessons? Was I destined to set my sight on that thing and run? You know, it's an interesting conversation. I don't know if you have any perspectives on.
I feel like I'm having a deja vu moment right now.
Did we have this conversation?
I don't know. Tell me if I told you the story about the two Buddhas walking, about destiny.
No, I don't think so. She said that? No, I don't think so.
So I heard this story because I've asked this question a lot. Is there a set destiny for each of us? Like when we're born, we're supposed to go exactly to this spot. And no matter what detour we take, or no matter if we get, I don't know, something happens to us, we're always going to end at that destiny. I've asked this question to Spirit a lot. And I heard this story. I'm curious what you think of this. So there's two Buddhas walking, and they're outside. And they're walking along this path, and one asks the head Buddha, because he's like the master Buddha. He goes, is there a destiny? Is there a set way that someone is supposed to exist in their life? And the Buddha looks down at this flower that's growing in the grass along the path, and he literally pulls him up by the root and throws him on the ground. And the guy's like, he goes, do you think he wanted to grow? He's like, yep, I think he wanted to be a flower, but you just pulled him from the root and tossed him on the road. He goes, and they keep walking. They get back, it starts to rain, but it's not like an average rain. It's like this full torrential downpour. And it rains for a couple of days, and they're back walking on the path. And they notice that plant that he had pulled out had moved back into the ground because of the water got so washed out that he was able to come back into the roots.
What?
and he looked at it and he goes, huh. And that was his lesson around destiny. So my question around this, because I'm curious what comes up when I share this story with you.
Oh, man. So was that the full story?
That's the full story. All of a sudden the plant's back up because of the 3 days of rain.
What comes up for me is if you are fully the flower wasn't trying to be anything but a flower.
Yep.
And therefore, the flower continued living its destiny.
Yeah. And maybe its destiny was to be pulled up by the roots and never go back. That one's done. Had it's done. You know, people cut flowers all the time, put them in their homes. That's still a purpose. And then maybe the rain comes, nature comes in. It's like, no, I want the flower right here. So I kind of look at it this way. We have our conscious thoughts, but ultimately there is a creator that's controlling nature, especially nature, right? Like controlling these types of filaments of rain, storms, destruction, non-destruction, whatnot. And we can say, this is the thing I'm feeling. This is where the intention comes, but also surrendering to whatever may come. If I'm meant to get uprooted, then I'm meant to be uprooted. And if I'm meant to come back into the soil, I'll come back into the soil because something will happen in nature to bring me back.
Yeah, I think that's where the miracle and the gratitude come into play. Like, I think that's the spiritual practice is to be grateful, even for the moments where you're getting your roots pulled out, knowing that ultimately it's all in service of your becoming. And if the soul's true purpose underneath all of the things we think we're supposed to be doing with our lives, if our soul's true purpose is to realize itself, then every single moment is a reflection in a mirror for that to be so. And I find for myself, the more I decondition from all of the ways that Raj was raised to be, all the ways that he was projected on, all the ways that he was do this, be this, have this, this makes you worthy, this makes you lovable, this makes you whatever, fill in the blank. This means you're this. The more I unravel from that, the more I'm starting to see free will and destiny just align. It's like there's no difference. It's like the free will, even the desire for something to be different, and the gripping is from conditions. It's from beliefs. The more I let go, the less I need that. Like, it's like there's the less of a fight I have with what's happening. And then it's easier to adopt those more spiritual beliefs, the true underlying nature of our being. But I think my sense is we have a destiny, and that path is carved for us. And what we become by the point we reach there, it's like we're going to get wherever that is. We're all going to die. Let's just get really real for a second. That's like at the end of the road for every, at least human being that I see, right? Like, so at the end of that road, if that's the eventual
destiny,
if that's the ultimate destiny, who we are at that moment in our lives is a choice.
That's a good way to put it. Who we are in that moment is our choice. Yeah. I've heard someone else word it this way. It's like the hallway is the destiny. You're going to go down the hallway. How you go down the hallway is your choice.
Totally.
Crawl, walk on the walls, skip. But you're going to go down that certain hallway though. You're going to have certain set things that come into your life.
Yeah. And it's tough and I think this is where there's a humbling. Like, I really feel like my three words for me right now are reverence, humility, and devotion. And those are like the three things. Like, just keep coming back to that. Because if I operate from that space of seeing the sacred in everything, if I come back to remembering that one day I'm going to die and that this moment is here to teach me something, everyone's here to teach me something. And then third, I'm in devotion to whatever this deeper spirit is. It just allows for grace, allows for the manifestation of possibility.
Possibility. I love that.
Yeah. What do you love
Infinite
about
possibility. It's
what's,
like one of my favorite feelings.
yeah. What does it feel like?
When you say that word, I think of infinite potentiality or possibility, though that word to me, oh gosh, it's like nectar. It's so good because you just spoke to all the realms of freedom that we can dance in. Like infinite potentiality. Think of that term, infinite potentiality. It means so many angles are possible.
Mm.
So many experiences are possible. So exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It's excitement. That's what I feel. It's an excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's, and this is what I find. I love that we're, bringing awareness to how much choice we have. Like, even though there's a preordained path, like the choice to believe these things, all you need is awareness. And so maybe that's a thing. Like, why do you feel like certain people choose to see something and certain people don't?
I've wondered that too. Why do some people that have similar hardships, like take two siblings?
Or like, let me give you an example. So like when I was working in corporate America, I had a cubicle mate, a guy named Jerry Markowitz. He was a geologist and I was a petroleum engineer, and we worked together. He worked 37 years at the same company, and he passed away from a heart attack 3 months before his retirement date. And I remembered I was 24.
And how old was he when he passed away?
15,
He was in his 50s.
Early 60s, like literally ready for retirement. 3 months away from retirement, and he passed from a heart attack. And then, everybody was, distraught. Oh my God, I can't believe this would happen. All these things, right? This whole office was like that. The next day, his wife comes in, who had just retired the week before, with a box to his cubicle, and she is like picking up things and learning things about her husband. And mind you, there's this whole room of people that are observing this happen, that are observing this very tragic thing, this heart-wrenching thing. And it just seems like everyone else went back to their lives.
Just let's keep going in the cubicle.
Or yeah, like it's like there was like there wasn't like for me, it was like the biggest wake up call of my life. It like activated every single like, oh my God, what am I doing? It was like a sledgehammer, like, and then I went and just devoted myself to being an entrepreneur, and I escaped the 9 to 5, and that was my way, and that was like my kind of awakening moment.
Interesting. And your question is, why do some people have the exact same experience, but it doesn't move them to change?
Yeah.
Why is that choice? Well, let me ask you, this is a judgment question, but if you were looking around at some of the workers there, do you think so many of them got so numb to the patterns?
I think maybe that's it. It's like
I believe we have a choice whether we get numb, and that choice comes before the disruption.
I'll say that, when that happened, I was already on a path of, like, I had started to break.
Yep.
Right.
And I love that you said break. There's a breaking that happens, and people get scared of the break, but that breaking, that cracking, you were already in the crack. And I believe people numb out and they put a hard shell around themselves. And so when things happen, they can't see it because that shell is so strong.
Yeah.
Of numbness.
Yeah. Numbness is a interesting, one of my favorite books is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Have you read it?
Love Napoleon Hill. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're bringing his name up. What?
Have you read Outwitting the Devil?
I've heard. I think I've heard segments of it because I've read a lot of his different.
Yeah. So Outwitting the Devil was the book he actually wrote before he wrote Think and Grow Rich.
But he never published it
because it was so challenging.
Yeah, they waited till he passed, and then they.
The Napoleon Hill Foundation founded in 2011 or something like that, and they're like, this needs to exist, and then they brought it forward. And in the book, Napoleon Hill is having a very candid conversation with the devil. And it's, arguable whether he was talking to himself, if he was talking to a channeled spirit, what he was doing. But he was asking the devil, why, like, how does the devil keep people inside of the thing. And there was this space of like, it wasn't fear, but it was like like once you get down a path, like the comfort,
Complacency,
there's like yeah,
numbness.
it's like there's like you're just covering up your life. You and it's an unconsciousness that's doing it. And I think spiritually that is what the soul, like what I believe the soul, if I think about true spiritual evolution, it's about going from fear to love. Unconsciousness is fear. Unconsciousness is leaving your fate to someone else. Unconsciousness is like not looking when there's something to be looked at. Unconsciousness is not feeling the thing and going to the soothing instead. And I do feel like there's this ripe opportunity in this moment, in this era, for so many of us to break beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I mean, we have so much going on to crack our shells. I mean, that's the gift, right? Like, we have so much going on. And I actually think my prediction is that we're going to get more that's going to crack our shells. I mean, I think everybody's experiencing different things, but collectively, I think we can all agree we're in the most ununique times we've ever been in. And some people are literally dealing with devastation from Mother, Gaia, like
floods
floods,
and
fires, things like that. And, the passing of children or body ailments, things like that. I think we're going to get more. And I don't mean it because I don't think we should be sad about it. I honestly, when someone tells me they're going through a hard time, I usually am like, that's exciting. Like people don't, it's unpopular, but I'm always like when I'm coaching the women I am, when they're like, oh my gosh, most people are like, I'm so sorry you're going through. I'm like, this is awesome. Cause now you're going to actually be shafted. Like what is that? What they say, that Bible verse where they take the wheat and they shaft it. Like
well,
you get to your core, you get to your true character.
Well, even if we look at like, the gift, like you mentioned when you lost your son, that was like the catalyst for you to touch spirit.
Yep.
And you can see the deep purpose in that.
For sure.
I believe that we're going through such difficult heartbreaks now because Gaia, Mother Earth, Spirit wants us to come together.
Yeah.
I really believe that this is the age of healing together.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that this is the age of holding one another. I believe this is the age of like being in Sangha and family and creating structures of support, because we've tried being isolated. We've tried being disconnected for so long that we are now so disconnected from Earth.
From Earth in general.
And so she's breaking us so that we can come back into connection with our feelings, with the grief that was never touched. And then remember that the grief I'm experiencing is no different than the grief you're experiencing. And we both get to be in that together.
Mm-hmm.
And that then restores the fabric, the mycelium that I feel like there's like a mycelium. Like I also like more than ever now, I feel more connected, even though my friends are all over the place, right? Like it's like there's a feeling of connectedness that I just feel is happening right now, and we're all being brought into our hearts, and our hearts communicate in every direction. And I really believe that in this moment. If there's ever been a fear of leaning in, this is the moment to rise above it.
Yeah. Yep.
This is it.
This is it. And it's exciting, actually. I don't think any of us need to be afraid because we have each other. If it's all divine, then it's great. And this life is not the only one. So
that's a whole nother rabbit hole. You're just the best. I just admire your playful relationship with spirit.
Thanks.
I think that's what I really appreciate. I learn from every time I'm around you. I'm just like, oh yeah, like she's like it gets to be.
It's a game.
It gets to be.
Oh, actually, I have a book I want to recommend to you. Florence. Oh no, I'm gonna blank it.
Is it Life is a Game?
The Game of Life and
The
How
Game
to
of
Play
Life. Yeah. The one
Florence
from back in the day. It's like old.
Scovel,
It's like old.
old,
And it's, like, pretty skinny?
She's before Louise Hay.
Yeah, and it's pretty skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
got it.
Game
Yeah.
of, I know the title, The Game of Life and How to Play It.
Yeah.
I think everyone should read it.
It's a super short read, and it's potent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you hear about that book?
Ah, man, it was gifted to me years ago, and then it stayed in my bookshelf for years. And then Natalie actually picked it up. She started reading it, and she was like, "Raj, we need to read this together." And then we started reading it.
Wow.
And yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's potent.
Yeah.
It's coming back to just the forgotten laws of creation and reality. Yeah.
This is a game. We're in a game. As much as some people don't like losing in the game, buckle up. Let's start winning.
What message would you have for someone who wants to go from losing to winning?
One, no, it's a game. So if it's a game, you're never really a loser, right? There's no losers in games. I mean, we use those terms, but it's a game. Doesn't mean it's serious. It's a game. You're going on to the next thing in a game, right? You're going to go to the next game or the next game. Or you go back to reality because you're just playing a game. So if you can have that mentality, if you feel like you're losing, you're not really a loser. That's important to know. And to win, change your hand. Figure out how to draw a different hand, change your hand. Remember, you have that opportunity in any game. Where do you need to move your chess piece? Start claiming your power back. That would be the biggest thing. You have so much power. Start thinking, start utilizing that power, and figure out how to get a new hand, a new chess move. Think about it like a game, and it will change everything.
Danette, I love you.
I love you too.
This is so
Thanks
fun.
for having me.
Yeah, this is the best. Yeah, we'll make all of Danette's. You're the Danette May on Instagram?
Yep.
On socials and YouTube, and you can check out her amazing work. She has an amazing podcast, actually, the Manifestival podcast.
Well, it's Danette May Show now.
Is it?
Changed it.
When did it change?
I changed it about a year ago.
Oh, well,
Danette May
just
Show.
kidding. It's the Danette May Show. I just love
Since everything's my name, we might as well keep it consistent.
I love Manifestival.
We still are doing that.
We're still doing that.
I have an event in a week.
Okay.
120, 150 women gathering.
Dope.
To Manifestival.
I love that.
Yeah, in Denver.
Great.
I'm excited.
Great. All right. Well, we're going to make all of Danette's links available in the show notes. Danette, I got one last question for you. In the midst of everything you're doing, everywhere you've been and everywhere you're going, how do you stay grounded? But more importantly, what's one practice you do to just become a more grounded human being?
Prayer. I never skip prayer.
How do you pray?
First, I say thank you. I thank Creator for everything that I can think of in the moment. And then I pray for help. I ask for help for the things that I'm stepping into, going through. So first gratitude, and then I ask for help. There was a period in my life where I just said gratitudes, and I realized Spirit's saying, you can ask. You can ask.
It's the self-love piece. Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, thanks for that reminder. Everybody, that's a wrap for this week's episode of Stay Grounded. I'm your host, Raj. This is your old friend, Danette. And from us, stay grounded. Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Stay Grounded. No matter where you're from or what you're going through, I hope it helps you remember just how incredible you are and have always been. If you're on a path of emotional healing or self-discovery and would like to learn how Liberate can support your journey, head to www.rajana.com/liberate. That is LIBER8 to learn more about our current group programs and one-on-one offerings. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week.